Good evening, dandies, and welcome to another episode of Braving Britain. As you can see, slightly different setup for this one. We have no external guest. It is going to be just us two. And we've actually got a series of slightly shorter, hopefully, videos that we intend to do with anything from CV tips, interview tips, OSCE tips. We've also got budgeting and eventually braces.
Braces. Hopefully it will be removed January next year. Yay!
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm gonna be compliant,
Good. Then she'll have a retainer.
Nah.
She'll be called Cutie. Yes. Anyway, this particular video is going to be about CV tips or resume tips. Now, this is going to be split into two parts, one of which we'll do as a second video. So, depending on which way you plan to come to the UK,
Sorry, my nose. Carry on!
will depend on which video is relevant for you. So this one is going to be simply about the resume or CV itself. For example, if you're going to be using an agency,
Or if they're sending their resume directly to the employer. They don't have to. Sometimes they do accept that.
absolutely right. So the second video will be, of course, about track jobs, and if you're going to be direct recruiting within the NHS, applying for jobs online. But we'll cover that one
It will
another
be
time.
a very different story.
It's
It's
similar.
almost the same,
Yeah, it's
but you have to do it in a different manner, like how
Yeah.
you do your CV.
But this one's just going to be about the CV, so let's crack on with that bit. So, structure. So, we got some general tips for us to follow here. 5 main points. Point number 1.
When you're making a resume, you have to make sure that it's brief and concise. Ooh, what was that? Yeah, brief and concise. You don't have to put everything because you will be given a chance once you're shortlisted to speak or to tell everything to your employer. So, as much as possible, just write the relevant points. You don't have to write like a life memoir. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, the one thing, especially when you're in the UK, that you'll learn this phrase a lot. No waffling. And what that basically means is just keep it to the point.
Yes,
You
straight to the point.
Don't go on about how, when you were 2.5, you'd learn to speak 5 languages. When you first started your first day at school, you were terrified, you may have wet yourself, but they don't want to know any of that. They just want to know, this is a bit about me, and so forth and so on.
As much as possible, keep it short, like 2 pages. 3 pages is too much to read for an employer,
Yeah.
especially when you're not the only person who's applying.
They're an employer, not a book publisher.
Yeah.
So, on that topic, keep it factual, but at the same time,
It's number 2.
make it relevant.
Yes.
Because, yes, you can be factual, but again, if it's nothing to do with the job, there's no point. You just wasted your time and theirs.
They can be relevant. You can, again, say that during the interview. You can say that you have worked there. That's fine. You don't have to write it one by one.
No. And that goes into a second point as well, where if you are claiming you have this skill, or you're claiming you are that good, back it up with experiences from your life.
Yes.
If it's so much easier for people to just write, oh yeah, I've got great leadership skills, and they go, all right, what leadership skills? So if you go, I've got great leadership skills. For example, when I was working here, I was leading a team. I was running seminars like yours truly.
And if, for example, you have passed your intensive life support training, then you can write it down, but make sure that you back it up with a certificate.
Yes, certificates are very good, even if they are just paper with words on. They mean a lot.
Because they will drill you. And it's not so nice to be able to be so confident in your CV, and during the interview, you won't be able to deliver. And what's the worst, when you get hired and you are already in the clinical area, if emergency happens and you won't be able to deliver, worst, you are compromising safety, not just of the entire team, but the patients.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, don't be repetitive.
Definitely.
But, any of the information you're putting on, make sure it's updated. Make sure it's recent. So use your most recent experiences. You can delve into the past if it is a really good point, but try and keep it to your relevant roles. Try and keep it to the roles you've just been doing.
The best way to write it in your CV is by writing your most recent experience on top and then going down.
But focusing on your most recent stuff and trying to just, I did this as well.
Well, they can put that, especially if it's relevant to the job that they're applying.
Yes. And of course, don't be repetitive. I think I've mentioned that already.
Yeah, you did.
I think I've been repetitive. But
sorry.
It's very, very, essential that you make points that are different. If you say, I'm good at this, and say I'm good at that, but they're the same thing, it's going to get boring. They're going to think that you've not got a logical mind. They're going to think you're not organised. You've got to make sure you don't repeat yourself or tackle the same topic 15 times in different words.
Okay. And last but not the least, is it the last?
Almost.
You have to put all the basics in your CV. Your personal details, of course, your career objective. It's very good to have that, what do you call this one? That direction in your career, because they don't want to just hire you because you want to be applying for that position. Of course, they want to make sure that you're also thinking of progression, like perhaps after 3 or 5 years, you wanted to a band 6 or perhaps do some specialization. If you are a stroke nurse like me, you would like to do some trainings, additional trainings to make you more competent and reliable in that job. Or if you perhaps wanted to go into critical nursing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you have to have that career objective. You have to put your experiences laid out in a very organized way. Make sure that you put the most recent ones on top. You have to... Am I very repetitive now? Yeah.
Point 4, don't be repetitive.
You have to also write your personal skills. Aside from your clinical skills, you have to also write what you're good at. If you are a good leader, if you're very good with communication, and...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And final. Now, a lot of you coming over here, English is not going to be your first language. As much as you may have studied it, it's not going to be your absolute native language. Get your resume proof checked.
Yes.
Because it's amazing how many grammatical errors you'll find. Spelling errors, not so many with the modern technology, but it happens.
Yep.
Mainly syntax and layout errors. If you are writing the whole thing in one font and one font size, good. Make sure it's all the same. Make sure it's uniform.
Yes, very good.
Make sure the grammar is correct. Make sure, because it's professional. And it's no good having a professional document that's worded like you having a conversation with a mate in a bar, like the way I write.
No, you are very good in writing.
Very conversationalist. But there's some key points to improving your CV or resume when it comes to applying.
If you're not too confident as well, you can ask help from someone who have done it.
Yeah, I mean, if you do have any questions, if you do have any other queries, or you want a bit of guidance on yours, including English proofreading, don't forget to comment on this video. Go into the Braving Britain Facebook group. We're there to help. There's NHS recruitment people there that can offer advice. There's agency people there that can offer advice, and other nurses. So, as I say, the next video will be about track jobs itself and applying like that. In the meantime, take care.
And please don't be afraid to send that resume. That's the first step to becoming a UK nurse.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And of course, don't forget as well that agencies and NHS active recruitment cannot target the countries on the WHO list. So this is mainly for people that aren't on that list. So the 47 countries, potentially 48 now, including Kenya, will not be able to do their resume, sending it to NHSs or going to agencies. They will probably need to follow the next video, which is about applying on track jobs direct.
But the other people who were not on the 48 list can also directly apply to track jobs.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that next time.
We will. But anyway, we'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone. I'm going to go fix the lights.
Okay, bye-bye.